Hi, and welcome to a single question astrology reading. This reading has been requested by a beautiful person whom will remain confidential and anonymous throughout this reading. However, it is going to be answering a question that she has asked, and the question is: true love, is my man finding his way to me? So essentially, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, whilst conducting this reading for this specific person, what a single question reading looks like, the information that you can get from astrology and the stars from your natal chart, asteroids and fixed stars chart, secondary progressions, annual perfections, and solar return chart. So I'm using all of these charts to hopefully help answer her question the best way that predictive astrology can entail, whilst also looking at the grounding of her natal chart and seeing where she's coming from to be able to help her find her way to where she is going in before her 40th birthday. So please feel free to request for your own single question chart to be done if you do find this helpful. A single question chart can also be with regards to your work, and not necessarily love, your work, your career, your gifts, your resources that are innate within you, and a myriad of different things. It is a concise and deliberate reading that doesn't carry too much jargon for it. It's just looking at the specific planets interplaying with the question. So I'm just going to jump right in. So this is her chart, her natal birth chart, and the key players here obviously are Jupiter being the husband in a woman's chart, and also the wife in a man's chart, and also Venus up here conjunct Pluto. So we can see that this individual has definitely undergone a lot of transformation in love, and also being the fact that her Venus and Pluto is in the sign of Scorpio as well. Love has definitely seen her go to the depths and back again. There's also another key player with Lilith, Black Moon Lilith, down here on her IC, which is showcasing how there is definitely some level of repressed feelings that are coming up, and it's helping her to bring that forward into her own reality, and help her do the same for her family as well, whereby there is a need for freedom to break free of the constraints of her past, and also be able to project them into her MC up here, which is where her sun is. So there's a lot of Capricorn energy in this beautiful person's chart, with her sun here in the 10th house in the sign of Libra, her moon also in the sign of Libra but also in the 10th house, and then a Capricorn rising as well, and then Saturn in Scorpio. So in essence, the energies carried from this person as an individual would pertain to Capricornian, hardworking, willful, strong, determined mountain goat, along with those transformative ideals and the transformative nature of Scorpio, especially in the area of love, which brings her to asking this question. So if I have a look, there's a few different charts that I've got. They're all her individual charts. This here shows me what's going on with regards to her descendant. So your descendant is your partner. It is who you actually, your partnerships, your relationships. So the 7th house is also the repressed side of yourself, the shadow side of yourself that you are not aware possesses within you, and then you seek that out in a relationship with another being, and that enables you to be able to mirror those parts of you that you don't actually aren't actually consciously aware exists. So for this specific person, she does have 3 fixed stars conjunct her descendant. So Orion's belt is conjunct her descendant, and basically that is pertaining to the fact that she in herself has a bountiful amount of resources that she is unaware that she actually has access to. And through middle age and through marriage, she will gain prosperity because of these fixed stars. We've got Men Kalanen and Polaris here, and we also have the fixed star of Betty Galisi, which is in Orion's belt. And that also highlights that her mind can be quite anxious, and also anxious about finding those relationships and having those partnerships. Again, with this Cancerian energy connecting up into the 10th house, there is a good chance that she is actually going to find her love through work and through the higher realms of her public figure identity as well. Being in Libra, she's so the relationship is actually going to help her emotions become stabilized. Hence, again, why she's asking for this this question about finding love, because to her, finding love helps her validate her emotions, her sense of self, and also her sense of identity as well. Again, with that Libra energy, which is the partnership energy, and the ruler of the 7th house up here in the 10th house being of the workplace. So her work does validate that part of her, but as to do the relationships and partnerships that she creates in her life and in her journey. So currently this woman is 39, so she will be coming up to her annual perfection of her 5th house rulership. So right now she's sitting here in her 4th house perfection. So all this year would have been about her home, creating those foundations for her to be able to move into the fun of a new relationship. And I can see that again also. I noticed that when I brought the chart up as well, because that Jupiter energy there of the partner is also about loving themselves. So in order to love someone else, I know we've all heard it before, but in order to love oneself is in order to love another. And that is kind of what this year has been all about, is about coming back to her roots in the 4th house, coming back to that Piscean dreaminess nature, also that Lilith, and finding what has been repressed and suppressed by, I don't want to say it, but by her lineage and by her roots, and being able to heal those deep-seated wounds of her past to be able to project up into her son, and therefore into relationships, and then carry over into her emotional connections of a relationship that is her foundation. But the interesting thing I found here is that the 1st house is also the house of identity and self. And with Jupiter being here, that pertains to herself and her individualistic nature, that people identify as her as a bountiful, beautiful, bold, and she's absolutely stunning individual who also does have those Capricornian characteristics of being withdrawn and not so outspoken. But with that Jupiter energy here, she does have a beautiful aura and energy about her that is captivating. Also with Eros here, Eros is the asteroid of sexual desires and how we act through sex and what turns us on and our kinks and things like that. So with that conjunct Neptune, that also highlights her need to be able to, her need to find that connection with someone, because that is where she escapes being conjunct Neptune. That's how she escapes her reality and also finds her identity there again. So there is definitely a lot of telltale signs as to why she is asking this question and why it is important for her to find the answer and to have that relationship come through. Now with the Mars there as well, there is so her energy is essentially all about relationships and her partnerships, and also connecting that through her emotional scheme. Now going back to the annual perfections, which is this chart here. So when she does turn 40, she will move into the Aries realm, and with that being the case, being ruled by Mars, we'll have a look where her Mars is and be able to find that information out a little bit more. But the 5th house, so this, like I said, this year has been all about, finding those roots, healing that, in some cases, that mother wound, but also the lineage and repressed emotions, that Lilith nature going down there in the IC. So that's been a very cathartic year for her, about coming home to herself, coming home to her 4 walls, and being able to heal what's going on there, so that she can move forward into this 5th house annual perfection of Aries and pioneer a new path in having fun and creating something new and something bold. And interestingly, that does also pertain to her, with the sun ruling over the 9th house perfection. That does also pertain to her career and also her creativity as well. So if I look at her solar return chart for this year, coming year, considering that it's about 3 months before the solar return that someone starts to feel that change and that shift into. So the solar return chart is a chart whereby the sun is at the exact degree that it was at the time and place of your birth. So basically, if she was in the place that she was born on her solar return, sorry, my phone was ringing, on her solar return, then she will be able to, this will all marry up perfectly at that exact time. But nonetheless, the chart is going to be the same, and we can see that Mars energy from her 5th house annual perfection of the Aries rulership coming into her 7th house, and also conjuncting the moon here in Cancer. So there is going to be a lot of energy in this house. So Mars is passion, pleasure. It is the higher, it is kind of the masculine planet, the energetic planet, and it's also ruled by Aries, conjunct the soft, nurturing planet of the moon in the 7th house. So we are going to see her meet her dream man in the next solar year, and we are going to see things unfold there for her. But I do need to reiterate the importance of her coming back to her 1st house and loving thyself first, so that she can allow this to play out effortlessly. With Mars here, there is going to be a little bit of friction and a lot of emotions in the passion area, whether that be in the pleasure state or also in arguments as well. So it's just about healing the self to be able to move over into that 7th house and honor that relationship to the best possible point. This is also in the 12th house for her as well. So this transit, despite being over her natal 7th house, is actually going to be happening in the 12th house as well. So there's going to be a lot of repressed feelings come up. There is a chance that this man himself is going to have that Cancerian nature, especially double Cancer there with the moon and also Cancer. But there's also going to be some Aries traits to him as well. So in essence, that transit of her 3 months before and then definitely 9 months after, she is going to find that love in another man. But there is going to be a cathartic nature, not necessarily platonic cathartic nature to it, but a healing, like a motherly healing and nurturing bond, and just ensuring that those repressed emotions and those hidden parts of yourself come to light in the most passionate, positive way as opposed to the negative way. And then with the 7th house being over on the descendant, Pluto's going. So there's definitely, she needs to look at her health over the next year as well. And then he's going to have some Uranian traits about him with that in her relationships. They're going to have that higher octave of Uranian traits about them over the next 12 months as well. Now, if I look at a secondary progressions chart, we'll see that, well, I haven't looked at this chart, so I'm just getting a feel for what's going on here. Her Mars has come to her first house, so that's denotating that, yeah, she needs to look, especially with that annual perfection coming into her fifth with the Mars rulership of Aries. She definitely needs to be able to look after herself and her physical body and honor that on the highest octave, with Mars progressed that far throughout her chart. Jupiter's also hasn't moved too far from her. It's making any connections with anything. It just remains there in Capricorn. So I'll just, there is, I'm just looking through 15 degrees Capricorn. There is a fixed star at 15 degrees Capricorn, but her Jupiter's not that far yet. Mars is past that point of fixed star. So there's no real themes playing out on that level that are destructive at this stage, but definitely watching her health, moving her physical body is definitely something that will help create and find that true love in this next 12 to 18 months, especially with that annual perfection coming up. So if she could do the work right now to be able to heal herself, transmute and transform all the energies of her roots and the repressed emotions within that black moon Lilith, especially in that Piscean nature, coming back into herself and helping her come back into her identity in her workplace and into her public image, she'll be able to honor herself in her new relationship. So it's just about doing, like right now, I would say it's just about her finishing off that inner work and honoring her metamorphosis into her new relationship, so she'll be able to honor that relationship and help. That relationship will bring healing for better or for worse, and that is definitely seen here, but that relationship is definitely going to be able to help her evolve as well. So that is essentially the reading, and I do hope that answers her question, and there is obviously more availability for questions and answers after the reading, and I hope that helps you as the listener to be able to understand astrology a little bit more, understand how everything does interact on the quantum field with regards to the blueprint of our natal birth chart and where things are placed and the aspects being made, especially something so prevalent like this aspect in our natal birth chart, and then be able to heal that those wounds throughout the progressions, perfections, and also throughout the lifespan with regards to the transits being made. Now, I haven't looked at the transit chart. That could be... I won't do that because that's going to bring up all the profile of my people. So I'm not going to do that publicly now, but I will do that for her later because I don't want anyone to see the 52 people that I have on my Astro database at the present time. So I'll leave that as it is, and I do hope that does help you, the viewer, understand astrology a lot better, and also know what it would be like to receive a single question natal chart reading that will enable you to help get some clarity and a sense of direction. For me, I do find astrology a lot more tangible than something like a psychic reading or a tarot reading, despite the fact that I myself have had psychic readings and also tarot readings, and I do read tarot as well. But I do see the tangibility and the ability to be able to see what is actually happening with astrology. So that's why I prefer astrology. Obviously, that's up to you. So please feel free to reach out if you do want a single chart reading. It will be on my Etsy account shortly, or just PM me. So that will be a single question reading. Excuse me, I did say single chart reading. Single question reading that will help be able to bring up that information that you are seeking to get clarity over. Okay, thank you so much.